Good evening, everybody. Home at last. What a great, beautiful day. I enjoyed it with my girls. It was fabulous. Great weather here for Alberta this time of year. My birthday month, it's always frigidly cold. March always is too. It can even roll right through April, but we still got a couple months left here. I'm going to let people log on tonight. We're going to have a really, really important talk. I see people are coming on now. We're going to have a very important talk. It's for friends and followers, party members, those founding members of the party. It was a great finish to the week. We've got our absolute board established of those who are going to come on and serve the party. It's going to be limited to an absolute narrative that's coming in website. But everybody, we got to have this talk as I see a lot of people coming on and saying, oh, stay away from CCP, oh, Chinese Communist Party. I've been on this world stage with many, many nations throughout the world. China's one of them. I do have a very, very hard time understanding the culture of the Chinese in their system. But I do know they can get pretty aggressive. They bully and they want to see strength. CCP is not the Chinese logo in China, not even close, not even written that way. That's just how we translate it to English. The CCP for the Canadian Constitutionalist Party translates extremely well. Big C, little c constitutionalism. Canadians don't understand this. In fact, a lot of the colonial countries have no clue about any sense of constitutionalism. They're very, very extremely limited to what we classify in the world of constitutionalism as the little c. Okay? You'll see a lot of narratives, people talking about, oh, a parliamentary system would be great. Let it be an open constitution. That's the small c, where nothing's codified. When I talk about codified, I'm talking about written, set in stone. How to govern, it's extremely important in my view and in my research that the big C is absolutely utilized against all your politicians. Roll out how your courts operate, because when you don't codify and you release the power of little c into how you're to be governed to the politicians, you will end up ultimately in an autocratic situation, as such is constitutional monarchies, as they're called. Little c, that's a problem. In my opinion, we're going to go through Canada in absolutely all of the minority groups, mainstream Canadian groups, every single person out there that's Canadian in their original, where they come from, if they select, will get presentations by world experts, absolutely from all walks, all around the world. That's what we're going to bring forward. We're going to go into the big C constitutionalism, what we should codify and why. You're going to hear from experts all over the world explaining the differences. Countries that codify, United States of America, massive codified constitutional country, okay? Canada sits heavy, limited, but heavy on the little c. United Kingdom, massive into the little c, almost all the way around, leaving it absolutely in the hands of the politicians. You'll see France the same way. In fact, the modern constitutional age came for France, UK, post-World War II. And again, very, very limited. France didn't even adopt a constitution until 1956. There's stuff you're going to learn as you go through this education with this party that's for all Canadians, all political parties, whether you put yourself in a left or you put yourself in a right or somewhere in the center or any variations of, everything will be presented to everybody. We'll welcome everybody on board to get involved, but we're absolutely going to roll out how the system works worldwide, how the world operates, breaking down international law, natural law, common law, civil law. The list goes on and on and on. An absolute comparative law of most of the nations in the world for all of you. Never been done in Canadian history. Absolutely not. Very, very limited to a very select few of academics inside Canada. And generally, when they grow to a certain level, boom, they're gone. Some other nation swoops them up, takes them away, start over again, Canada. That's the system we're in. A lot of people won't understand this, but this is what you have to explain to people. We are the CCP party, or Canadian Constitutionalist Party. Big C, little c with the P. That's how the logo will be. That's how it's going to be registered with Elections Canada. It's never going to be Big C, Big C. It will absolutely not go forward ever like that once registered. And people will learn what that means, because I'll tell you all this. And what you have to understand, Canadians generally have no clue. But when you leave Canada, outside of the Commonwealth countries and realm, and you go on to the entire world, almost everybody understands the big C, little c constitutionalism. It's only those in colonialism, in Commonwealth countries, that have no clue what that represents. But the world, the vast world, outside of our little rigid little place we live in, our little piece of it, our idea of very limited little c, with absolutely hardly anything at all to do with big C codification, you will see the rest of the world absolutely understands it very well, and are absolutely going to know what this party represents. As soon enough as we get rolling through in the coming year post-registration, many Canadians will get to see, and it will start to make sense for a vast majority of people. This is what you have to share out. Embrace the big C, little c. What we have to do to codify, where we have to get to, the massive big C codification of all provinces and territories, something Canada has never ever even looked at, even though everybody around us, everybody we deal with in the world, has absolutely done such. Besides, again, Commonwealth countries, all the countries that are absolutely tied to colonialism or pure dictatorships, autocrats. Sad, right? I know a lot of Canadians don't understand, but they soon will. Remember, everybody, big C, little c. Codification, big C, little c, what we leave to bills, acts of legislation. And as you all just can put that together, Canada, absolutely the provinces are all based on limited little c, where it's an act of parliament. They call us common law? I don't think so. Not when the civil law portion of the Canadian system can take away all of your common law and civil rights at will, because you have zero big C codification. The world understands this. Canadians, not so much, because your government restricts this kind of education and narrative in the country of Canada we all live in. Absolutely, you're not going to see it in any kind of K-12 education. Completely removed, always been restricted since 1867. They don't want any of you to know. And that's a really sad, unfortunate reality. But we have to get to everybody. And that means left or right, because it's not about left or right. It's about up and down. And we want to be down here. You know what down here is? That's all of your civil rights for all the groups, all the minorities, every single Canadian. Outlined rules of how you're to be governed, putting limits on politicians, putting actual systems in place for your court systems, checks and balances all the way, so that if we make a major mistake in who we elect, it's there, it's accountability so that these people, whether it's through corruption, incompetence, there are checks and balances to hold them in place. No party wants this in Canada. They absolutely love the puritocracy. They don't want you to have 2/3 of the rights promised to you in what little codification we have in the little c of acts and legislation. We have to change that, everybody. This is the promise of the big C, little CP, the Canadian Constitutionalist Party. You have to get it out there. You have to educate people. The real constitutionalism is coming to Canada by the best of the best in the world from many different countries and walks of life. You're going to get that. You're going to see these presentations. That's what we're doing in this time between now and we hope 2023. If it isn't then and there's an early election, I guess 2025. But I don't think there will be unless they get real spooked. Either way, it all takes time. We're better having the time to do it right the first time. And the more people learn of it, the bigger